Hi, this is Bookish Clara. Today with a summary of Hyun-woo Jin's 운수 좋은 날. I'm really excited to share another story with you guys, so let's roll that intro and get started. So if you watched last week's video, you would know that I picked 동백꽃 for the topic because it's totally bright and funny in contrast to most Korean short stories. 운수 좋은 날 means literally lucky day in Korean, so you probably think I'm back with more unicorns and glitter. Before you guess, I have to tell you, this story is famous for its irony. Yes, it's a harrowing tale of the unluckiest day ever. Really. Our main character is a man called Kim Chum-ji. Kim is his last name, and Chum-ji is a disrespectful way of referring to an old man. Anyway, he is a rickshaw driver. Side note, this story takes place in 1920s Seoul. Don't come to South Korea now and expect to find rickshaws. Anyway, the day starts with drizzling rain. It's the worst kind too, sleet. What an ominous background. But that actually turns out to be the lucky thing for Mr. Kim. People are much more inclined to take rickshaws when the weather is bad. It's especially good timing since his wife has been ill for over a month. They can hardly afford food, no less medicine. And Mr. Kim firmly believes that if you give medicine to an illness, it'll come back for more. She only became worse when she got an upset stomach after having cooked millet. So desperate for food was she that she scooped it up with her hands before it was even fully cooked. Yeah, they're that poor. Before we go on, I have to say that Mr. Kim swears like a sailor. I didn't bother to translate all of the swear words, though I could have gotten quite creative. His wife kept asking for salongtang, which is a beef broth usually eaten with cooked rice. It's quite expensive, so he just responded with his usual safeguard. Place your bets, everybody! Anyway, the point is that he was earning loads, but at a corner of his mind, he was worried. His wife had said when he was leaving for the day, "Please don't go today, I'm sick." Ominous words. But he only said, "Someone has to feed us, woman," or a ruder version of it anyway. Still, his legs stopped of their own accord whenever he drew near home. So now the day is over and he is trudging back home. But he kept having an ominous feeling. He stalled, trying to delay as much time as he could manage before returning home. Thankfully, Mr. Kim ran into a friend and he asked Mr. Kim if he wanted to have a drink with him. He accepted, of course. The next scene is where Mr. Kim 1. Totally overate, 2. Totally overdrank, and 3. Introduced me to several interesting words. A quick side note. In this scene, Mr. Kim cursed his money quite thoroughly and also threw it to the floor. He was cursing money for being the reason he has to leave his wife for work and also putting him in a situation where he's so desperately poor. The next scene is even weirder. Yeah, really. Mr. Kim comes down after the whole overeating, overdrinking, overswearing debacle and starts telling a funny story about one of his customers. Everyone is laughing and he's laughing too. Then he starts to cry. I know, such a party pooper. He cries and says his wife died. How ominous. He says that his wife is dead and he is a scumbag for drinking while her corpse is lying in their home. Then he immediately starts shouting about how everything is fine and how his wife is totally alive. 100%. By this point, his friend is understandably concerned and ushers Mr. Kim home, though Mr. Kim does insist on getting a takeout of salongtang. When he goes home, he finds it silent. Some might even say, ominously silent. After he finds his wife, he swears at her, mutters to himself, asks her for the confirmation of her death, but there is no answer, because she's indeed dead. After Mr. Kim admits to himself that his wife is dead, he mutters the immortal lines, "Why can't you eat? Why can't you eat?" when there is finally salongtang. How today seems such a strangely lucky day. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed or at least appreciated the tragic tale of a really unlucky man. You can expect to find the Korean short stories to have this vibe. I know. So please let me know in the comments whether you liked one of the most tragic Korean short stories out there or whether you prefer one of the most cheerful works, 동백꽃. That was last week's video and go check it out if you haven't watched it already. I expect you need a little pick-me-up after listening to this grim tale. And for now, I wish you a bookish afternoon.